It's
Says it's starting. It's starting. You are now live. Here.
better late than never, folks.
The time is 1:18 p.m.
Uh,
I am finding us on my
Facebook changed the interface and did it after I had set everything up. We were about to push the button to go live, and it was grayed out.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Now I'm going to come in and sit.
Eventually.
I feel like I forgot something.
Get my Bluetooth earbuds quit working,
There,
so
looks like you're up and
wires.
running.
Finally, yes indeed.
I hope I'm on camera. Let me move over a little bit here. I don't appear to be.
Oh.
Also, we're obviously hit closed caption somewhere, so everything we say is coming up on my screen.
Well,
But we're just
I don't know how to fix that. If anybody knows how to turn off closed caption on an Android phone,
don't
please
worry about
leave
it.
us a
I'm
comment.
not going to worry about it.
And maybe we can play some music today. As I was saying, Facebook basically changed the interface at the last minute and disabled all my settings that I set up, and we're ready to go.
Oh, I
And
need my mic. Thank you. That'll help considerably. Okay. There.
we never claimed to be professionals, folks. We're just good old down-home hillbillies. Anyway, hopefully people will check back in. I did put a post on Auto Harp Down Home telling everybody what happened. So I hope that people will join us. Did you say Dan was here?
Dan is here, and I think maybe he's the only one
Oh,
at this moment that has spoken anyway.
okay.
And the last thing he said was, Lynn needs her mic, so I hope I've got that now.
Hope your procedure went well, sir.
Yes.
All kind of people are falling afoul of the medical community. Benji's got the COVID.
Well, we think he does.
At least
It
we
says
think he
test.
has.
We don't know. Rapid
Right.
test. Is George's vocal mic in the right place? Let me move it over.
Probably not.
No, we got went into a rush here at the end. But thank you, Dan, because I don't know what we'd do without you right now.
That's got to go up more like that,
Okay.
and then be pointed at
I
me.
need this one more pointed at me. We usually have it a little better together than this. How do we sound now?
Yes, indeed. How are we?
This mic has no signal. Is it turned off?
See if the switch is on.
I wouldn't know.
Well, flip it to the other position and see if you get
But I have to
audio.
find the switch.
Oh.
There's one with an up button and a down button, and there's one over here. I don't know if that's what the down
Let
is.
me see the microphone.
Sorry. Which one is the on button?
Well,
There.
it's right there.
Okay.
See it? It's
Okay, let me see. I see. Let me see. It's on. It is. Was it on before?
I don't know.
Okay. Is this better, or is it like not plugged in or something? Okay. Pat Byrne is here. Things are picking up in Ireland. I
Hello, Pat.
don't know if anybody can hear me at this point. I think my mic may have been off, but it might not be. If someone can let me know if I sound.
Is anybody hearing Lynn?
Yeah. We are just having a shaky start here.
That's true. It's absolutely true.
We really did come to play music.
Honest. And we'll get there.
Dan says Lynn is still out. Shoot, why?
Well, I don't know.
Now I have to trace my mic cord.
Yes, I do. Say something, Lynn.
Something, Lynn. How's that? What's the matter?
Dan, do we have any signal now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, exactly. Get this delay for...
Yeah, that's the trouble with it. And it's a long delay for some reason.
Yeah.
Dan says, wow, now she's there.
Okay. Is she too loud?
Probably too loud. I'm backing off just a little
Well,
bit.
I don't know. I set your level to the same level as mine.
Okay.
So we should be... I don't remember where it was.
Okay.
And I'll be darned if we're going to get up and go hunt the chart.
No.
Hopefully
Okay.
none of the other levels were bothered with. But anyway, we really ought to play some music here.
Yes. Dan says too loud, so I'm going to back the mic up.
No, just you stay where you are.
Okay, I will stay as I am.
All right. Let's try that. And maybe we can get to this here.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's good to see you guys.
Yeah, really.
It has
All
been
two
a
of you.
while.
It really has. We were pardon me. We
Pat
were
says good now. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Pat. We were setting up 2 weeks ago. And I was sitting here and I tried to sing a song and I couldn't sing more than 3 or 4 words without busting out into a coughing fit.
Right.
So we just couldn't do the show. We're back. We're ready to go as long as the Facebook gods will smile upon us.
Bob Hale, we're here.
Hey, Bob, Brenda.
and Brenda,
Wonderful
good
to
have
see you. We're running a little late.
Yeah, we didn't know for sure we were going to get
We had
this.
some technical issues. The children at Facebook decided to throw another tantrum and change the interface.
Right, we're going along.
And
everything, thinking it's
they
all
told
set.
me everything was great at 11:30 when I set it all up, and when we went to go live, the live button was grayed out, and we had to start all over. So, anyway, here we are. This show, as you may or may not know, based on the invitation, is called Growing Old Again, because there was a Growing Old earlier, I think.
Did we? Yes.
Anyway, this is songs about aging and getting old and all of the things that, go with that. And the first song we're going to sing was written by Pete Seeger. It's called Old Age is Golden. How do I know my youth is all spent? My get up and go has got up and went. But in spite of it all, I'm able to grin and think of the places my get up has been. Old age is golden, or so I've heard said, but sometimes I wonder as I crawl into bed. My ears in a drawer, my teeth in a cup, my eyes on the table until I wake up. As sleep dims my vision, I think to myself, is there anything else I should lay on the shelf? Though nations are warring and Congress is vexed, I'll still stick around to see what happens next. How do I know my youth is all spent? My get up and go has got up and went. But in spite of it all, I'm able to grin and think of the places my get up has been. When I was young, my slippers were red. I could kick up my heels clear over my head. When I was older, my slippers were blue, but still I could dance the whole night through. Now I am older, my slippers are black. I huff to the store and I puff my way back. But never you laugh, I don't mind at all. I'd rather be huffing than not puff at all. How do I know my youth is all spent? my get up and go has got up and went. But in spite of it all, I'm able to grin and think of the places my get up has been. I get up in the morning and I dust off my wits. I open the paper and I read the obits. And if I'm not there, I know I'm not dead. So I eat a good breakfast and go back to bed. How do I know my youth is all spent? My get up and go has got up and went. But in spite of it all, I'm able to grin and think of the places my get up has been. And think of the places my get up has been.
I love that song.
Yeah, me too.
That's a good one.
Okay. This next song was written by Carrie Henshaw, Aldous McFarlane, and Greg Lowry. And it was recorded by Ernest Tubb and Red Foley, and it's called Too Old to Cut the Mustard. Too old, he's too old to cut the mustard anymore. He's a-getting too old, he done got too old. He's too old to cut the mustard anymore. When I was young, I had a lot of pep. I could get around, I didn't need no help. But now I'm old and getting gray. The people all look at me and say, too old, he's too old to cut the mustard anymore. He's getting too old, he done got too old. He's too old to cut the mustard anymore. I used to could jump just like a deer, but now I need new landing gear. I used to could jump a picket fence, now I'm lucky if I jump an inch. Too old, he's too old to cut the mustard anymore. He's a-getting too old, he done got too old. He's too old to cut the mustard anymore. When I was young, I had an automobile. Now they push me around in a chair with wheels. I had to fight the gals off with a stick. Now they say he makes me sick. Too old, he's too old to cut the mustard anymore. He's a-getting too old, he done got too old. He's too old to cut the mustard anymore. When I was young and in my prime, the gals all used to stand in line. Now they go the other way, and as they leave I hear them say, too old, he's too old to cut the mustard anymore. He's a getting too old, he done got too old. He's too old to cut the mustard anymore. He's too old to cut the mustard anymore.
Nice. We have Pinkie Pie. Said,
Hello, Pinkie.
Hi, George and Lynn. And Kurt Gleason. Ha ha.
Hey, Kurt. Wow, it's been a while. Good to
Love,
see you.
although I resemble it all too much these days.
Yeah, don't we all?
And Hillary.
Hello, Hillary.
And she said, hi, George and Lynn, found you at last. And then she said, you've gone again. And then she said, back again.
Oh,
So
dear.
we may be having some issues.
Yeah, we might.
we-
And we were late getting on because Facebook changed their interface. And
Yeah,
I
just-
thought I was ready to go live, and they disagreed with me. And
Kurt said, love how you're picking the melody while you chord.
thank you. Thank you. I got a lot of compliments on that when Dan and I went to the California Auto Harp gathering, which was an absolute ball. This next song you've never heard before, I'm sure, because it was written by a friend of mine whom I met when I was in Atlanta taking some training for a government job back in the 80s. And she had a guitar, and a couple other people had instruments, and we all got to talking about how great the old folk music era used to be with all the trios and singing groups and everything else. And I said, well, you know, love to get together and play music with you guys, but I don't have an auto harp with me. And they all got together and played that night, and I said, man, I can't stand this. So I jumped in a taxi cab and rode to downtown Atlanta and bought a new Oscar Schmidt 21-chord auto harp, which is the one I play a lot of the time on the show. I'm not playing it today, but and then we got together at my apartment every Saturday for the rest of the training and played folk music and stuff for hours. And this lady was part of that group. Her name is Judy Barrett. I don't think she ever recorded this, but she did sing it in front of some folk groups. And it's called Your Grandmother Loved You Before You Were Born. And it's about a friend of Judy's who was really, really, really looking forward to becoming a grandmother. She was just counting the days, and she passed away before any of her grandchildren were born. And Judy wrote this song about her friend. Judy never had kids, so when she did the intro, she said, I don't know anything about being a grandmother, but I know a lot about a person who wanted to be. So this is called Your Grandmother Loved You Before You Were Born. Come sit with me, children, the story I'll tell of your grandmother, Becky, a friend I knew well. A friend I could visit and laugh with all day. She knew how to love and she knew how to pray. Rejoice in the sunshine and laugh in the rain. Treasure each day, it will not come again. With dreams in the starlight, hear the wind blow her horn. Your grandmother loved you before you were born. Her spirit was strong, it was lovely and bright. It shone like a candle that shines in the night. She planned for your births and she treasured your names, bought toys for the day she could join in your games. Rejoice in the sunshine and laugh in the rain. Treasure each day, it will not come again. And remember at times when life treats you with scorn, your grandmother loved you before you were born. Your grandmother Becky loved stories and rhymes. She stood by my side at the darkest of times. No matter how long or how twisted the road, the thought of her grandchildren lightened her load. Rejoice in the sunshine and laugh in the rain. Treasure each day, it will not come again. And remember at times when life treats you with scorn, your grandmother loved you, your grandmother loved you, your grandmother loved you before you were born.
Oh, goodness. Kurt said, "Oh, got something in my eye. It's a tear." Me too. That's beautiful.
Yeah, she's
And so that, for someone, maybe that person writes a lot of songs, but that is really well done.
Well, it was written from her heart, and the part that says she stood by my side at the darkest of times. Judy's husband passed away of a long, lingering illness, and this lady Becky supported her all the way through that, and helped her get back on her feet, because Judy is blind. She's not totally blind like I am. She has a little bit of sight, but she had to change her whole life. She had to move to where she could get public transportation and all kinds of things. So it's a good song. And I do have her permission. I emailed her and asked her if I could sing it. I don't know if I've played this auto harp since we overhauled it.
I don't know.
We refelted all the cord bars, and we put padding on the underside of the cord bar cover so the buttons don't clack anymore, except for a couple.
Yeah.
But anyway, the next song that I'd like to do for you, it was written and recorded by John Prine on his first album called John Prine. And it's called Hello in There. Have an apartment in the city. Me and Loretta like living there. It's been years since the kids were grown. A life of their own left us alone. John and Linda live in Omaha. Joe is somewhere on the road. We lost Davy in the Korean War. I still don't know what for. Don't matter anymore. Old trees just grow stronger. Old rivers grow wilder every day. Just grow lonesome, waiting for someone to say hello in there, hello. Me and Loretta, we don't talk much more. She sits and stares through the back door screen. All the news just repeats itself like some forgotten dream that we both seen. Someday I'll go and call up Rudy. We worked at the factory. What'll I say when he asks what's new? Nothing, what's with you? Nothing much to do. You know, trees just grow stronger. Old rivers grow wilder every day. But old people just grow lonesome, waiting for someone to say, hello in there, hello. If you're walking down the street sometime, spot some hollow ancient eyes, please don't pass them by and stare like you didn't care. Say hello in there, hello. Say hello in there, hello.
Kurt said, not fair, another tearjerker. Somehow I found Prine and Goodman back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And Pinky said, hello in there. And Philippa is with us.
Hey, Philippa, glad you found us. We were late.
She said, WTF, been trying to get on since 1 your time, 2 mine.
Yeah.
Very sorry.
Again, we were ready to go live. I'm sitting here, everything's set up, and Lynn said, the go live button is grayed out.
It won't
We can't go
work.
live.
Can't go live.
And
So-
I had to dump everything and go back and reset the whole thing, and I was upset about it, so it took me longer than it should have. But we were about 18 minutes late, so that
very
was
sorry,
all
folks.
on our end, Philippa. We're real sorry. I'm glad you persisted
Yes.
and came back to join us. I really am. The show wouldn't be the same without you.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Which
just
begs the
wondering-
question. Anyway,
No, I'm just wondering if there are other people that are still trying to find
well,
us. Probably.
I hope people do, and
Yeah.
you know, stuff happens.
Oh man.
A lot of stuff's happened to us here lately.
We're
We're
better
both
now.
really
We're good.
badly. We were bad sick.
Oh man.
I mean-
for a month it seemed like.
Well,
I
it was
mean,
about
maybe
3
not,
weeks.
but it seemed
about,
like
it was
forever.
about 2 or 3 weeks. I started coming down with it on the 30th of December. It was the first year in decades that I didn't ring in the new year with a glass of champagne. I just couldn't. I was sick.
I know. Flip said, "Annoying you again, I guess?" Question mark. Not really.
No, not at all. Not at all. Anyway, I'm glad you found us.
Yes. Thank you for persevering.
This show is called Growing Old Again, and it's songs about old people and aging and that kind of thing.
Yes.
This next one, I don't know who wrote it. It was recorded by the New Riders of the Purple Sage back in 72 or 3, and it's called Old Man Knoll. Old Man Knoll was a mean old soul. He lived across the hill. I didn't know him very well, and now I never will. He had some sheep that grazed his land, and he was very old. All the kids would stay away. We knew he was a scold. Yeah, but our best treehouse was on his hill, and our navy sailed on his pond. years have only brought me pain. Now I'm sad the old man's gone, 'cause the freeway rolls where old man Noel used to run his sheep in the meadow. And as you drive by, if you really try, you still can see his shadow. Now old man Noel was a mean old soul, at least the kids thought so. But we were much, much younger then, and now I just don't know. The way it was when it was his, the land was clear and free. It was his life, and with his wife, it was all that he could see. So when the houses came and brought the kids who thought he was mean, I think that now at last I see how sad he must have been. 'Cause the freeway rolls where old man Noel used to run his sheep in the meadow. And as you drive by, if you really try, you still can see his shadow. Yeah, you still can see his shadow.
Whoa. Pinky said, glad you recovered from winter sickness, George and Lynn. Your voice sounding perfect,
Thanks, Pinky.
with a smile face. And Bob Hale, we have some John Prine songs.
Ah, yes.
We love John. Miss him.
If you go back on this page to show number 12 or 13, I can't remember, I did a tribute to him right after he passed away in 2020. So if you want 2 hours of straight Prine,
Yes.
go back and check that one out, and you can hear how we sounded in the early days. It turned out pretty good, actually.
I thought it was a good show. We did lose him to COVID.
Yes.
Is my understanding.
He was
that
a
one
very
of the-
heavy smoker.
And he got one of the earlier
and he
variants.
he got
and
the
then he
original
just-
variant, and he was gone within days.
Pinky said lovely with a smile face
Thank you.
on that song.
Here is a song that was written by, sure was.
Okay.
It was written by Gene Autry and Jimmy Long.
Oh.
And the artists, Gene Autry recorded it, and Doc Watson recorded it, and everybody and their brother recorded it. It's called That Silver-Haired Daddy of Mine. In a vine-covered shack in the mountains, bravely fighting the battle of time, there's a dear one who's weathered life's sorrows. He's that silver-haired daddy of mine. If I could recall all the heartaches, dear old daddy, I've caused you to bear. If I could erase those lines from your face and bring back the gold to your hair, if God would but grant me the power just to turn back the pages of time, I'd give all I own if I could but atone to that silver-haired daddy of mine. Many days you have toiled for the family, providing for the needs of our home. And since God called our dear mother to heaven, you've been fighting life's battles alone. If I could recall all the heartaches, dear old Daddy, I've caused you to bear. If I could erase those lines from your face and bring back the gold to your hair. Oh, if God would but grant me the power just to turn back the pages of time, I'd give all I own if I could but atone to that silver-haired daddy of mine. Now I know it's too late, dear old daddy, to repay for the heartaches and cares. But dear mother is waiting in heaven. She will cherish and comfort you there. If I could recall all the heartaches, dear old daddy, I've caused you to bear. If I could erase those lines from your face and bring back the gold to your hair. If God would but grant me the power just to turn back the pages of time, I'd give all I own if I could but atone to that silver-haired daddy of mine.
Oh, beautiful. Philippa said, New Year's Eve, my roommate gave me a bottle of champagne, and after adventures involving much cussing, managed to pop the cork, wasn't about to try to use a knife after the stitches last time. It had gone bad. Sigh.
Oh.
Sigh with you on that. And she also said that this song you were just singing, she said, reminds me of your dad, George, really liked him. And then she also said, liked yours too, Linda, but only met him once, with a big smile face. And I didn't remember that you did get to meet him. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I knew you had come down that way, but I didn't realize my dad used to travel a lot, and I didn't know that he was there. But I guess he had retired by then.
I don't know.
I'm
He
not
retired
sure.
in '84.
Yeah.
So, it was well after we were out of college.
Lost him in 2001, October.
Yep.
Late in October.
We lost my dad in '98.
Yeah.
Smoking killed him.
Killed both of them.
Yeah. He
Killed
he
my
died
dad.
of a heart attack. He had heart disease for a long time.
She said, Flip said, I think I met him at WSU. You probably did.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
Yeah, my dad had a rough old life. He had They had two disabled kids,
Yeah.
and my older sister needed major surgeries back in the '40s before there was such a thing as health insurance. And my dad worked most of his life and paid off all of those bills without asking for help for anybody. He worked sometimes 3 jobs.
They didn't have medical
Just to
insurance
make sure.
then,
No,
did they?
no, they didn't. So he was something. Taught me a lot, and
Me too.
led a parents group that got me and my peers into public school instead of having to go to the school for the blind.
Which
And,
made you a different person.
Yeah, that's what made me what I am today. Here's a song that was written by Ebony Wexford way back in 1873.
Wow.
And it's called, yeah, sure is.
I'm wanting to,
Silver Threads Among the Gold. That's what it's called. No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I want to move your mic down a little bit, rather the end of it down, rather it like this. It was up.
Oh,
I don't know how that happened, but I noticed during the
I
last
probably
song.
bumped it.
So that's more
Okay, good.
like what
Thank
we
you.
want.
Thank you.
Dan will appreciate it.
Try that again. Darling, I am growing old. Silver threads among the gold shine upon my brow today. Life is fading fast away. Yes, my darling, you will be always young and fair to me. Yes, my darling, you will be always young and fair to me. Oh, this is. Darling, I am growing old. Silver threads among the gold shine upon my brow today. Life is fading fast away. When your hair is silver white and your cheeks no longer bright, I will kiss your lips and say, you are lovelier today. Oh, my darling, mine alone, alone. You have never older grown. Oh, my darling, mine alone. You have never older grown. I'm having technical difficulties. Did that pedal move? Love can never more grow old. Locks may lose their brown and gold. folks. This is not working.
Here, let me have the harp a minute if you can slip it back toward me, and then you can check that.
I've been working on this system for a while, and for some reason, it's just not working anymore. I don't know why. Okay. Okay. We'll take it from the middle. Sorry about this. This is not
We are
one of our
not-
better days.
We're
that's
having
for
one
sure.
of those days,
Okay.
one of those shows.
Whatever.
But, well, we're here to have fun.
That's right. I'm having fun.
I'm having fun.
I'm having fun. Love can never more grow old. Locks may lose their brown and gold. Cheeks may fade and hollow grow. But the hearts that love will know. Never winter's frost and chill. Summer warmth is in them still. Never winter's frost and chill. Summer warmth is in them still. Love is always young and fair. What to us is silver hair? Faded cheeks or steps grown slow, till the hearts that beat below. Since I kissed you, mine alone, alone, you have never older grown. Since I kissed you, mine alone, you have never older grown. Soon we'll join the shepherd's fold. There we'll never more grow old. Ageless with the saints on high, ne'er again to fade and die. Cheeks that bloom once more like month of May, eyes a sparkle fair as day. For the Lamb has set us free, free to love eternally. Yes, my darling, we will be always young and fair and free, shining bright in heaven above, resting in immortal love.
Wow, that's a pretty one. Oh, Dan said, thanks for moving the mic. I wasn't going to say anything. Grin face. And Libby is here. And
Hello, Libby.
And she says, hi, Lynn, looks like you're feeling better. And also from here, it sounds so good.
Oh, I'm
So
glad,
to hear that. Yes.
And, I hope Drew is doing
Oh,
well,
and,
and Robbie's husband too.
yes.
And
I've been
we
praying
will-
for both of them.
We will see you all later on.
Indeed.
And I'm glad you could come by and visit for a while. We are celebrating growing old, kind
Yes.
of, sort of.
With tears and laughter both.
Yes, indeed. By the way, there are only 9 days left for the early bird pricing if you want to register to go to the Mountain Laurel Auto Harp Gathering. You get great discounts on tickets and that kind of thing. But that all ends on February 1st, so you have about 9 days to get over to February 1st. Sorry, I don't even know what month it is. February 1st in 9 days. So if you want to register and take advantage of those great discounts, go to mlag.org and sign up. I will be there, and I hope to see you there too. Here's a song that was written by J.A. Butterfield and G.O.W. Johnson in 1866. Hillary did this on the Auto Harp group and did a really good job with it too. Thank you, Hillary. Always love to hear you play. So this is my version of When You and I Were Young, Maggie. I wandered today to the hill, Maggie, to watch the scene below. The creek and the creaking old mill, Maggie, as we used to long, long ago. The green grove is gone from the hill, Maggie, where first the daisy sprung. The creaking old mill is still, Maggie, since you and I were young. And now we are aged and gray, Maggie, and the trials of life nearly done. Let us sing of the days that are gone, Maggie, when you and I were young. A city so silent and lone, Maggie, where the young and the gay and the best in polished white mansions of stone, Maggie, have each found a place of rest. It's built where the birds used to play, Maggie, and join in the songs that were sung. For we sang as gay as they, Maggie, when you and I were young. And now we are aged and gray, Maggie, and the trials of life nearly done. Let us sing of the days that are gone, Maggie, when you and I were young. They say I am feeble with age, Maggie. My steps are less sprightly than then. My face is a well-written page, Maggie, but time alone was the pen. They say we are aged and gray, Maggie, as spray by the white breakers flung. But to me you're as fair as you were, Maggie, when you and I were young. Now we are aged and gray, Maggie, and the trials of life nearly done. Let us sing of the days that are gone, Maggie, when you and I were young. When you and I were young.
Beautiful. Ziggy is here.
Hello, Ziggy.
And he said, "Hi, George and Lynn. Now I'm here again greeting you from Germany," with a big smile face.
Welcome, sir.
Yes.
I'm glad you found us. We were a little late getting on this afternoon.
Indeed.
Facebook decided to throw a tantrum, and we had to spank it and send it into the corner without supper.
That's right. But we got ourselves back.
But we persevered, and here we are.
And Flip said, did you do Those Were the Days? Because she wondered if she missed that.
No, I didn't, and I don't plan to today. That would have been a good one, though, to put in
Yes,
here.
it would.
It really would have. I wish I'd have thought of it. But there are a lot of good songs here, and a lot of new ones.
Hillary said, "Thank you for the kind comment on my version of Maggie."
Oh, it was
George."
well deserved, Hillary.
Indeed.
Thank you for playing it.
And Bob Hale said, "Foster and Allen done this one." And Debbie Lane is here.
Hello,
Good
Debbie.
to see you. Been a while since my timing worked out.
Oh,
well,
I'm glad it did. I hope you and your
there's
family are
Lulu.
doing well.
There's Lulu. She came to see me over here to your right.
That's right, because he's playing
Hey,
buttons.
now, be careful now. Not be stepping on things.
Well, move them. After all, you only have 2 feet.
That's right. Dead beautiful girl.
All
My dog is
right.
over there sleeping.
Yes, because on these Saturdays and it's the only time Linda's dog is allowed to sleep on my bed.
On the bed, yes. which
No
is
dogs
such a
sleep
treat.
on my bed, but she gets to every Saturday.
You get your person should pet you.
Nope, my person is playing
And then
buttons.
Flip said, "Okay, then do it next time
Yeah,
if
right-
it will fit in." Smile face.
Yeah, I think it might. Next, I'll talk about the next show near the end. I think it might. Better write that down if you
Oh,
would.
okay, we'll do.
Because I'll forget if you don't. Hello, you decided to come by after all, huh? Did you? So you get those things out of the way so I can get in here. Yeah, you're a good dog.
That's such a good song. I can't remember who did that one. but-
Mary Hopkin did that in 1968. It was her one and only hit, and I don't understand it. She had a beautiful voice, but she just never got, the next big one. All right, here's another John Prine song called "Grandpa Was a Carpenter."
I like that one.
Oh, Grandpa wore his suit to dinner nearly every day. No particular reason, he just dressed that way. Brown necktie and matching vest, both the plain tip shoes. He built the closet on our back porch, put a penny in a burned out fuse. Grandpa was a carpenter, he built houses, stores, and banks. He chain-smoked Camel cigarettes and he hammered nails in planks. He was level on the level, shaped even every door, and he voted for Eisenhower 'cause Lincoln won the war. He used to sing me Blood on the Saddle, rock me on his knee, let me listen to the radio before we got TV. He drove to church on Sunday, and he'd take me with him too. Stained glass in every window, hearing aids in every pew. Grandpa was a carpenter, he built houses, stores, and banks. He chain-smoked Camel cigarettes, and he hammered nails in planks. He was level on the level, shaped even every door, and he voted for Eisenhower 'cause Lincoln won the war. Now Grandma was a teacher, went to school in Bowling Green, traded in a milking cow for a Singer sewing machine. She called her husband Mister, and she walked real tall in pride, and she used to buy me comic books after Grandpa died. Grandpa was a carpenter, he built houses, stores, and banks. He chain smoked Camel cigarettes, and he hammered nails in planks. He was level on the level, shaped even every door, and he voted for Eisenhower 'cause Lincoln won the war.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah, Grandpa was a carpenter. My grandpa was a carpenter. Kind of. Not a professional carpenter.
Our grandpa was too, but not a professional. But he could sure build things.
Yes, indeed. He built that shelter house out there.
That was my mother's father, and my dad's father was an artist and a sign painter, and quite something. He also became a rock hound. He liked to collect rocks and polish them. He made a jasper necklace for me one time that I kept. It was beautiful.
My mom's father was the carpenter. And they lived over on Norwood Drive in Columbus in a story and a half, like the house you had on Lois Drive kind of thing. It wasn't quite, it was older than that. All the bedrooms were upstairs. But anyway, he had one room in the basement set aside for his workshop. And he built doll baby beds for the girls and stilts for the boys.
Yeah, my grandpa made stilts for us. That was a
Cradles,
thing,
and he
I guess.
built cradles. Yeah,
He did.
He built cradles for the babies
Yeah.
that came along in the family, and he built all kinds of other things. And I don't think the man ever picked up a ruler in his life. He never measured anything. He didn't buy very much of his wood either. Back then, this was back in the 50s and 60s, and stores still got a bunch of their stuff in wooden crates. And he would go back behind the stores. He had their permission, and they'd stick that lumber out there, those crates, and he would haul them back in the back seat of his car. He didn't even have a truck. He had an old four-door Chevy, 55 Chevy. And he'd load that thing to the roof with scrap wood. And everything he built was built mostly out of that scrap wood. I don't think he ever measured a stick of wood, and I don't think he ever bought a stick of wood. He used tomato stakes for the upright pieces in the cradles and all that. He was something.
Flip said, since I took up blacksmithing, I go to events, and the audience members invariably had someone who told me his grandfather was a blacksmith.
Oh, yeah.
All
Yeah.
I can think is those Smiths sure got around.
Yes, indeed.
That's an interesting thing to do, blacksmithing.
Here is a song that was written by Mrs. J.W. Pate. I don't know who Mr. J.W. was or what he did or anything, but his wife wrote at least one really good song. And the first time I heard this, Ivan Stiles did it on one of his Sunday afternoon concerts. And boy, I'll tell you what, if you haven't dropped in on one of Ivan's concerts, you really are missing out. He's a great auto harp player, knows everybody. And he does a concert every single Sunday. He's done 96 of them without a miss.
Goodness.
Every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on his Facebook page, just Ivan Stiles. And he and his lovely wife, Nancy, she reads the comments like Lynn
I
does
do.
for me.
Yeah.
Although Ivan can see, but the way they've got their stuff set up, he can't see the comments. So if you'd like an hour of good old-fashioned, pure D traditional folk music, Join Ivan every Sunday. Anyway,
I had one from Dan.
yeah.
Relating to growing old, a moment is in order to remember Lulu Wolking, our dad's mother,
Indeed.
who lived to be 106 and a half.
Yeah, almost made it to 107. She was a wonderful lady.
Yes, and she stayed in great shape too for
Yeah.
in terms
She
of-
told stories about living through
my
the
goodness.
Depression and all kinds of things. She was quite something. Just a wonderful lady.
she touched 3 centuries
Yeah.
because she
She
was
was
born
born
in
in-
1898
Yeah. So she was in the 19th, 20th,
and
and
21st century. So that's an amazing feat there.
Yes. So here's to Lulu, Grandma
Grandma
Lulu.
Lulu. We always called her Grandma Lulu.
At any rate, the song that I was telling you about, pardon me, is called An Old Log Cabin for Sale. While strolling alone in the country, reviewing the scenes new and old, I found an old-fashioned log cabin, so beautiful there to behold. A stranger was standing in silence, his eyes firmly fixed on the door. My heart ached in pity to see him, for these are the words that it bore. And the sign read, an old log cabin for sale, an old oaken bucket and well. Easy terms, just keep a log on the fire and a light burning bright in the dell. Many years an old couple so patiently looked for a boy whose last promise did fail. Now the old rocking chair will be rocking no more. There's an old log cabin for sale. A welcome I read on the floor mat, an old braided rug by the door. The hands of an angel had made it, with many a prayer prayed before. In an old rocking chair on she waited, for one glimpse of him how she yearned. But now he was standing in silence, too late, yes too late he'd return. And the sign read, an old log cabin for sale, an old oaken bucket and well. Easy terms, just keep a log on the fire and a light burning bright in the dell. Many years an old couple so patiently looked for a boy whose last promise did fail. Now the old rocking chair will be rocking no more. There's an old log cabin for sale. How long has it been since you've written a letter to Mother and Dad? How long has it been since you've seen them? Oh, why don't you make their heart glad? Too soon will the old home be vacant, the candlelight gleaming no more. Don't wait till too late to remember, there may be a sign on the door. And the sign read, an old log cabin for sale, an old oaken bucket and well. Easy terms, just keep a log on the fire and a light burning bright in the dell. Many years an old couple so patiently looked for a boy whose last promise did fail. Now the old rocking chair will be rocking no more. There's an old log cabin for sale.
Nice. Oh, Jerry Burgess Jr. is with us.
Hey, Jerry.
He says, "Good evening, my friends. Sounds good as always, George."
Ah, thanks, Jerry. Thank you very much. Hope you and your guys are doing good.
Yeah.
By golly, it's been a long time since I saw Jerry. Heck, his kids were just little boys, I guess, the last time
We actually.
we actually saw him.
Yeah. Have to stop by, Jerry.
Yeah, we're still in the same spot.
It doesn't look like it because we have a different house. We
Yeah,
don't have the. Yeah,
we're still here.
we traded. Got a new mobile home.
You know, we really do appreciate everybody's comments.
Yes, very much.
They really make the show what it is. It'd be real boring if we didn't have comments. And, we really appreciate everybody dropping in
Makes
to
me
see
smile.
us.
Yes.
And if you haven't left a comment, don't be shy. Tell us who you are and maybe where you're from, you know, where you're watching from and everything. We'd love to hear from you and get to know you a little better. We kind of see this as a visit with all of our good friends, even though we can't be here in person. And we sure have made a lot of good friends
Yes.
through this show. And the other thing, just kind of to get the commercials out of the way, if you like what you're hearing and you haven't already done so, follow the Auto Harp Down homepage. And if you do that, the invitations that go out the Thursday before each of our shows will show up on your in your news feed, and so will the show. So you know, follow us, and you'll get you know, early notice of what's going on. Now, we don't post anything else. So we're not going to clutter up your news feed. We're not going to try to sell you anything or get you to join the church of what's happening now or any of that. The only posts on the Auto Harp Down homepage have to do with the show. So anyway, drop us a comment if you mind to. We'd sure love to hear from you. You know, I can't stay serious forever.
Uh-oh.
It hurts my head. This song was written and recorded by a guy who bills himself as Chief Greenbud. And it's called Grandma's Getting Into Grandpa's Ganja.
Uh-oh.
Grandma's getting into Grandpa's ganja, smoked a little bit of his marijuana. Things just haven't been the same. She just sits around the kitchen, special brownie she's baking. Use the last ounce Grandpa's Jamaican. But the grandkids don't complain. They don't complain. When I was just a kid, I'd visit on the farm. One morning I followed Grandpa and hid behind the barn. He milked the cows and slopped the hogs, his old muscles ached. Then I saw him pulling out a bowl Grandpa liked to wake and bake. Just about that time, my grandma stumbled in and caught him smoking on that bowl. I thought it'd be the end. Then he passed it to her. He caught me by surprise. But I guess that would explain why Grandma's always got bloodshot eyes. Grandma's getting into Grandpa's ganja, smoke a little bit of his marijuana. Things just haven't been the same. She just sits around the kitchen, special brownie she's baking. Use the last ounce of Grandpa's Jamaican. But the grandkids don't complain. They don't complain. Grandma's getting into Grandpa's ganja, smoke a little bit of his marijuana. Things just haven't been the same. She just sits around the kitchen, special brownie she's baking. Use the last ounce of Grandpa's Jamaican. But the grandkids don't complain. Oh yeah, you'll never hear me complain.
Flip said, I want that song.
Look up Chief Greenbud on YouTube. He's got about 50 of them.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and you'll be hearing some of them.
Chief Greenbud.
Chief Greenbud
Okay.
is what he calls himself. We're going to do a whole show dedicated to the evil weed here real soon. Since more people than I thought that I know, that I thought I knew, turn out like to smoke.
That, yes.
I don't do it much anymore, but
No,
I
that sort
do
of thing
every
catches
once in a
up.
while, and then I pick up my auto harp, and then it's 3 hours later, and everybody's like, wow, and I don't even remember what I played, so
Right.
I'm a lightweight these days.
Oh,
Here's another one that I first heard on Ivan Stiles' Sunday show, and let me see if I can find out who wrote it. John Hadley, Kevin Welsh, and
sorry about
And
yawning.
Dooley Scott.
Goodness.
wrote this. Let me get all reset here. And it's called Till I'm Too Old to Die Young. If life is like a candle bright, then death must be the wind. You can close your window tight, and it still comes flowing in. So I will climb the highest hill and watch the rising sun. And I pray that I don't feel the chill till I'm too old to die young. Let me watch my children grow to see what they become. Oh Lord, don't let the cold wind blow till I'm too old to die young. Now I have had some dear sweet friends I thought would never die. Now the only thing I've left of them is the teardrops in my eye. If I could have one wish today and know it would be done, well, I would say everyone could stay till they're too old to die young. Let me watch my children grow to see what they become. Oh Lord, don't let the cold wind blow till I'm too old to die young. Let me watch my children grow to see what they become. Oh Lord, don't let that cold wind blow till I'm too old to die young.
That's a good song. I have a Lulu.
You have a Lulu.
Yeah, she's come over here to get petted again.
Okay.
What the dog is wanting?
She's bored.
Are you bored?
Yeah, 'cause we
Oh,
didn't
there,
go
dog.
anywhere.
That dog. Oh,
We haven't gone anywhere for 2 whole days.
goodness.
And she didn't get to go out and play Kong today because I was getting ready to do this.
I know she has not had hers.
And she wants me to concentrate on the important things.
That's right.
out
Put that
there.
harp down and let's go play.
If my dog could talk, I think I know what she'd say. Put down that auto harp, let's go out and play. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be hearing that song on my CD that comes out in June called
Yes.
Forever Friends.
Forever friends.
Hope you'll grab a copy when it comes out. It's going to
This
be
is a good
really
dog.
great.
This is a good dog. But you should see your person, because I cannot fix anything for you. I can just pet you.
That's all she wants. She just wants some attention.
Yeah.
And I kind of have something else I got to do here.
Yep. Libby said, I had my kids too late. I just realized it. I'm not going to see how they turn out. Well, kids change a lot, and you think you've seen it, and you haven't, and it doesn't matter how old you get.
Just make the most of every time you get to see them, Libby.
Libby said, love that song.
Thank you. There's some more good ones coming up. Here's a song that I don't know who.
Here's a dog.
Yeah, I don't know who wrote this. It was done by a group called A Touch of Grass on their one and only album, The Making of a Band. And I guess they didn't make theirs too well because they never cut another album.
No, but the one they
but
did
the
was
one they
so
did was
good.
really great. It really was. I don't know, like I say, who wrote this. I thought they had written a lot of the songs on their album, but they hadn't. Most of them were actually other people's stuff. They did a Steve Goodman song. Anyway, this is called The Old Man. He awakens in the morning and he curses at the sun, and he dresses in the same old clothes again. The old man eats no breakfast, he just sits and drinks his wine, 'cause the bottle has become his only friend. Can he go on blaming others for the things he does himself without losing self-respect along the way? How can it be all right for him to do the things he does while condemning someone else who does the same? Now the old man is a loner, that's the way it has to be. He never could admit that he was wrong. And though he knows within himself, his pride won't let him see how a man can force himself to live alone. Can he go on blaming others for the things he does himself without losing self-respect along the way? How can it be all right for him to do the things he does while condemning someone else who does the same? In the chilly air of evening, in his shirt and dungarees, the old man gently rocks and tries to sleep. He claims he doesn't give a damn, he says he has no needs, and yet a tear runs slowly down his cheek. Can he go on blaming others for the things he does himself without losing self-respect along the way? How can it be all right for him to do the things he does while condemning someone else who does the same?
Wow. Flip said, reminds me of Preacher, except he never condemned anyone.
That's true.
Right.
No, he just lived for the next bottle, unfortunately. And it's sad because the guy knew how to do all kinds of things.
Well, he played music too.
Well, he played music, but he you
That's
know,
what I remember.
yeah. He showed me how to change a rear end out of a car.
Yeah.
He knew how to do a lot of things. He was an interesting guy, but he never could stay anywhere for very long. He He was the typical rambling boy for sure. But I'm glad I knew him.
Oh, yeah.
I really am. I have a tape, a digital copy of a cassette tape that we made one night. He played a song and then I played one.
You still have that?
I still have it.
Flip said he was a great guy.
Yeah, he was. Here is a song that was written by Johnny Marks. Now, I don't know when it was, who did it first. I heard it done by Jimmy Buffett, but I really think it was written earlier. It's called Sending the Old Man Home, and it's about all the soldiers who came home or who were sent home after World War II. So let me see if I can do this. There's a reference to an author, James Jones, in this, and he wrote books like From Here to Eternity and The Thin Red Line, and books like that about fictional books about World War II. They're sending the old man home, back where the buffalo roam. Out in the Pacific, they say he was the best. Now he's in his civvies, heading home like all the rest. He'll never forget Rosalie, or sleepless nights he fought upon the sea. He'll only have the memories or great books by James Jones, 'cause they're sending the old man home. Far away, far away, far away, far away, another life so very far away. They'll tear down the officers' clubs and write off the overdue subs. So let's drink to their memories, our heroes and our pals, to those crazy Navy flyers, to those swell Hawaiian gals. The sailors will dance in the street, then they'll mothball the whole damn fleet. We'll only have the picture books of land and sea and foam, 'cause they're sending the old man home. He'll only have his memories or great books by James Jones, 'cause they're sending the old man home.
Flip said you gave me one regarding the tape of Preacher. So,
That's right, I did. I
And-
remember now.
and Debbie said, Debbie Lane, I mostly do covers, but I have 4 originals on my YouTube channel. I like that several of the song owners have allowed the covers to stay up while still claiming their copyright credits. And then she said, love the playing and singing here on this song you just did. I
Thank
will
you.
never compare. Enjoy the skill, effort, and joy. And then Philippa said, roommates, retired Navy submarines.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Debbie, that's why I try very hard to give credit to the people who wrote the songs. I mean, after all, if people didn't write songs, I wouldn't have anything to do because I can't write a song to save my life.
I'm not good either.
I'm prepared to get performance licenses. I have people lined up that can help me do that. And we are going to go, we're going to do a lot. We have a YouTube channel also. Look up Auto Harp Down Home and you'll find it. And we are going to start doing more with that. I just bought a really powerful new laptop. I hate that, but I did. And we are going to try to stream simultaneously to Facebook and YouTube. We have a program a service that's going to allow us to do that, and a program to aggregate comments so Lynn can see all of them on one screen. And, they've left all my shows up there. Of course, I only have like 50 subscribers, so it's not like, I'm on the radar, but we're going to try to grow that. I don't know how many other things out there in the world that I'm ever going to be invited to. I get to go to MLAG to release my CD, and thanks to everybody's generosity, I've got the money to actually do that.
Yes.
Rather
That
than
is very
trying to
appreciated.
hitchhike, we really appreciate that.
Hitchhike. Yeah.
But I don't know how many other venues like that I'm going to be able to go to. This is all I've got, and it's all I've ever done, really. I did a concert at the California Auto Harp Gathering. I was invited to do that by Mike Mueller. It's the first time I'd ever played before a live audience other than bar gigs. So hang in there. I will definitely try to find your YouTube channel. I want to hear your original songs, and if they fit into any of our shows, I'll contact you and see if I can play them. Where are we? I saw a post by Alexandra Bassett on the Auto Harp group on Facebook. She got her left-handed Tahoma. So that means Pete's got his CNC machine programmed up to do left-handers. And I'm really hoping I'm going to get mine pretty soon. This is a whole new concept in auto harp design. He's carved the top and frame out of one solid piece of piano pin block. And then the back is made out of oakum maple ply, instrument grade from France. So, it's top of the line materials. Pete was trying to make a solid body electric, and he carved channels through the solid body, and he found out that he couldn't make an auto harp that was totally quiet like an electric guitar. So he never got that done, but he's got this Tahoma out there now. There's an introductory offer on it. And I'll tell you what, I walked into his shop just because I wanted to meet him. And he has a great little Chinese pug dog, and they called him Harpo, of course.
Yes.
And he and Lulu hit it off right away, which surprised everybody, except for me. But he said, here, take a look at this. He had the prototype. There was only one in existence back then. And he let me play it. And the button layout wasn't like mine, so I couldn't do a lot with it, but I played it for a while. People come in, and a couple of people stood behind me, and I was messing around with Foggy Mountain Breakdown and stuff like that. And I turned around and said, "Hey, you guys want to play this? I mean, I don't want to." And they said, "No, we just came to listen to you play it." But it has a wonderful, robust sound to it. I don't know if it's the solid body or how he carved the little acoustical channels through it or what, but Dan brought his guitar and we played a few things together, and the auto harp held its own. It really did. And no digging for strings. Like, this harp, there's the bass strings, there's the high strings, there's the middle strings. You notice that the middle strings are louder than the bass strings or the high strings. So if you want to play something, you got to dig. Okay? With the Tahoma, you don't have to do that. You can just, and it sounds the same all the way up and down. And that's about as hard as you need to dig to get that. I mean, it's the closest thing you're going to find to an amplified auto harp in an acoustic auto harp. It's amazing. So, pardon me, I decided that I would see if Pete could lower the action on my old auto harp Atlanta that I took with me to the gathering. And, of course, that gave me an excuse while he was looking at it to play the Tahoma again. So I decided to do that. He absolutely, this thing, we imitated a pale imitation of what he did with this auto harp. And it's amazing. He lowered the action. Couldn't do that before. Then, while he was looking at it and giving me an estimate, I played the Tahoma. And then I went back to get it, and he said, you're working too hard. You're pressing too hard on the buttons. And I said, yeah, but, even when it was new, if I didn't do that, I'd get like that. And he said, yeah, it's the crappy felt they use on these. And so I said, well, I got to have it to perform tomorrow. He said, oh, I'll do it overnight. So while he was looking at it, I played the Tahoma. Every chance I got, I played the Tahoma. And here's what you get. You get Pete's patented flatline fine-tuning system, which is different. I don't think it has cams, but it's an absolutely amazing. He let me play with the fine-tuners just to see, and they're really great. You get Mylar spring system. They're leaf springs. They're not coil springs. They're leaf springs. And I assume because of that they're very unlikely to wear out. And you don't get that creaky screen door. Remember your grandma's screen door? You don't get that spring sound when you push the buttons. You get never warp extrusion cord bars. These cord bars are not flat from top to bottom, end to end. They've got just a little bit of an arch in them, and that allows them to be thinner, giving you more room to pick. You get composite frame bracing. Pete didn't really explain that to me. Don't know what that is. You get the Brian Bowers style 21 bar chromatic layout on this thing out of the box. You get strap buttons, and Pete will install them for you in the standard locations, or if you want to put them somewhere else, he'll stick them in the box with the auto harp, and you can install them yourself. You get with all of Pete's harps, you get a limited lifetime warranty for defects in materials and manufacturing. And you get your choice of cases. You can get a gig bag or a hard case, whatever you want. And you get all of that for only $1,395 plus shipping. I've never heard of a new luthier auto harp that low price. Now, this is an introductory offer. You're not going to get this for long. So if you want one, act soon. And here's the extras you can get if you want to pay a little bit more. And I did get some of these. You can get a built-in magnetic pickup. You can get lock bars. You can get your favorite button layout. 9, 12, and 18 bar setups, which will give you more room to pick. And you can get chromatic and diatonic string schedules if you decide, that you want a diatonic layout. All Pete's auto harps come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can play
Flip said, how much?
$1,395 for the stock model. $1,395 plus shipping, and shipping I think is like $65 anywhere in the U.S. Pretty sure that's what it is. If you want to have a look at the thing, or you want to order it or verify details, go to Daigle, D-A-I-G-L-E, harp.com, and check it out. I never thought I'd own a luthier auto harp, but my brother Dan talked me into it. And
Philippa said, actually not too bad.
not bad at all. Dan helped me with the down payment. Pete's got a no interest, interest-free layaway plan too. So you can throw down a couple of $100 and pay the thing off over time, and when you get it paid off, he'll ship it to you.
Libby said, you're so tempting, but alas, I'd have to sell one of my Hollandsworth harp, which I am not going to do, but that harp does sound really, really good.
Well, when I get it and I learn how to play it, the thing is, I'm getting a left-handed auto harp. So all of this is going to be over here. So I'm going to be able to play it without crossing my hands.
More like, wow.
Like that. This is going to be liberating.
Yes.
If I can get used to it.
Well,
I've
that's
done this
the
for
thing.
45 years.
Old habits die hard.
Right. I'm also going to be doing an interview with Hal Weeks on his Stalking the Wild Auto Harp channel about cross-handed laptop style playing. I guess we're kind of a dying breed. Alexandra plays laptop, Harvey Wagner and me, and I'm sure there are some others. Anyway, let us get back to playing music and all here.
I don't have your clock, so I have no idea what time it is.
We can fix that, but we're going to run late because
Philippa
we
said
started
closer
late.
to 50 years, actually.
Actually, yeah, closer. Here you go.
I'll take it.
Here, let me flip that out for
I
you.
figured we'd go long because it's 3:00.
Yeah, we're
3:02
going to be
now.
a while, folks, because we started late.
Well, we started 10 minutes late.
We started 20 minutes late.
Really?
It was 2:18 when I sat down here, and then it took us a couple more minutes to get online.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, details, we don't care. We're all here. We're playing music. That's the most important thing. Dave Brown turned me on to the auto harp Philippa in 1975. So you got 47 years. So yeah,
Yeah.
right in there. Here's a song that was written and recorded by Gordon Lightfoot, and it's called Home from the Forest. Well, the neon lights were flashing and the icy wind did blow. The water seeped into his shoes and the drizzle turned to snow. His eyes were red, his hopes were dead, and the wine was running low. And the old man came home from the forest. His tears fell on the sidewalk as he stumbled in the street. A dozen faces stopped to stare, but no one stopped to speak. For his castle was a hallway, and the bottle was his friend. And the old man stumbled in from the forest. Up a dark and dingy staircase the old man made his way, his ragged coat around him as upon his cot he lay. And he wondered how it happened that he ended up this way, getting lost like a fool in the forest. And as he lay there sleeping, a vision did appear. Upon his mantle shining a face of one so dear, who had loved him in the springtime of a long-forgotten year, when the wildflowers did bloom in the forest. She touched his grizzled fingers and she called him by his name. And then he heard the joyful sound of children at their games, in an old house on a hillside in some forgotten town, where the river runs down from the forest. With a mighty roar the big jets soar above the canyon streets, and the con men con, but life goes on, for the city never sleeps. And to an old forgotten soldier the dawn will come no more, for the old man has come home from the forest.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah,
You said that was
intense.
Lightfoot?
Gordon Lightfoot, yeah.
Yeah. Hillary said, thanks, George and Lynn. Gotta go. See you in 2 weeks.
Yes, indeed. You won't want to miss it. It's going to be we're gonna quit being so doggone serious here.
Or in some cases, sad.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Not that
we're
we
gonna,
don't love those sad songs. do
We're
we?
going to celebrate Valentine's Day with songs about love and romance and all that mushy stuff.
Yes.
Songs like "I'm Kissing You Goodbye" and "I Guess She's Gone for Good."
Is there one called You Done Stomped?
You done stomped on my heart.
heart.
And stuff like that. You just hope you really like it. Hope you can be there. Hillary, you have a great evening, and we'll
yes.
see you real soon. Okay. Here's a song written by Henry Clay Work in 1876 called My Grandfather's Clock. My grandfather's clock was too large for the shelf, so it stood 90 years on the floor. It was taller by half than the old man himself, though it weighed not a penny, weighed more. It was bought on the morn of the day that he was born, and was always his treasure and pride. But it stopped short, never to go again, when the old man died. 90 years without slumbering, his life seconds numbering. It stopped short, never to go again, when the old man died. In watching its pendulum swing to and fro, many hours had he spent while a boy, and in childhood and manhood the clock seemed to know, and to share both his grief and his joy. For it struck 24 when he entered at the door with a blooming and beautiful bride. But it stopped short, never to go again when the old man died. 90 years without slumbering, his life seconds numbering. It stopped short, never to go again when the old man died. My grandfather said that of those he could hire, not a servant so faithful he found. For it wasted no time and had but one desire, at the close of each week to be wound. And it kept in its place, not a frown upon its face, and its hands never hung by its side. But it stopped short, never to go again when the old man died. 90 years without slumbering, his life seconds numbering. It stopped short, never to go again when the old man died. It rang an alarm in the dead of the night, an alarm that for years had been dumb. And he knew, and we knew, that his spirit was pluming for flight, and his hour of departure had come. Still the clock kept the time with a soft and muffled chime, as we silently stood by his side. But it stopped short, never to go again when the old man died. 90 years without slumbering, his life seconds numbering. It stopped short, never to go again when the old man died.
Flip said, find one for my roommates. Their anniversary is Valentine's Day. And let's see.
How many?
And-
Happy anniversary in advance. Go ahead. What
Yes.
else you
And
got?
then she said, this was an old favorite with a smiling face. And Ziggy said, hi, George. Did you ever hear Brian Bauer's special version of Grandfather's Clock? Alas, the YouTube video was removed.
No, I never did.
And Robert C. Richmond.
Hello, Robert.
Beyond, I'm sorry. Beyond Auto Harp, your lyrics roll off so naturally beautiful. Always so fun. Streaming this time in a new location in Germany, Freiburg near Dresden. I spread your fame.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. I hope you're enjoying your sojourn over there.
Yes.
I wish I could go to Germany. I really would. I love German food.
I think our people came from Germany.
Yes,
On the one
yeah,
side of
they
the
did. The
family.
Wolkings.
The Wolkings. That's German.
I think they had a title. They were a von something.
Von Wolking.
Von Wolking, yeah.
Yes.
But I just love German food. We had a restaurant called Schmidt's Sausage House in Columbus,
Oh,
Ohio.
yes.
And they were, well, they spoke German, except when they were talking to us as customers, of course. And we went in there, and they had Stein Night on Tuesday. And a stein of beer was one price no matter what, and you bring your own stein and they would fill it for that price.
Yeah.
And my very good friend, the late Alma Brooks Rutledge, made me a stein, got greenware and painted it. I still have it.
Yeah.
In fact, I might drink something out of that one of these days. Write that down as something we might do.
Philippa said, lots of folks in Germany, smile face. And that is very true.
That's true. That's absolutely true. Here is a song that was written by Malvina Reynolds, Harry Green, and Harry Belafonte.
Goodness.
Dick and Dee Dee recorded this in 1963, and it was used in camera commercials. And I can't remember, I think it was Polaroid. Whichever camera company brought us The Wonderful World of Disney on Sunday nights, they would play this song while they were showing pictures of pictures and all the great things you could do with their camera. It's called Turn Around. Life grows short and man grows old. Summer's gone and the wind turns cold. Where are you going, my little one, little one? Where are you going, my sonny, my own? Turn around and you're two, turn around and you're four. Turn around and you're a young man going out of the door. Where are you going, my little one, little one? Pigtails and petticoats, where have you gone? Turn around and you're tiny, turn around and you're grown. Turn around and you're a young wife with babes of your own. Turn around and you're tiny, turn around and you're grown. Turn around and you're a young wife with babes of your own. Where have you gone, my little ones, little ones? Where have they gone, our children, our own? Turn around and they're young, turn around and they're old. Turn around and they've gone, and we've no one to hold. Turn around and they're young, turn around and they're old. Turn around and they've gone, and we've no one to hold.
Wow. Flip said she'd love to see the Stein, and also another old favorite. And then she wrote WOLD question mark. Is that it? Remember WOLD?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to write that one down.
Yeah, I can do that.
WOLD. That was a Harry Chapin, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know, put together another request show one of these days. If I can get people to leave comments, I'm going to put a post up, and then people leave comments and request their favorites that I've done before or songs they'd like me to try to do. And if they can be played on a stock Oscar Schmidt, you know, I'll give them a shot. We did this once before. We didn't get a lot of response, but we didn't have as many friends back then either.
Libby said this song makes me cry.
Oh.
And Debbie Lane sang this in high school chorus circa 1972 or 3.
Wow.
And Libby...
Golly, you were in high school about the time we were. I graduated in 71. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Were there other comments?
Yeah, well, Libby, she said this song makes me cry, and then Philippa said, was dating a DJ when it came out. Oh. That's what the song WOLD is about, is a DJ.
Yeah, was that Danny Clover? You don't have to answer that. Here is a song.
Dan Clover, a.k.a.
Yeah.
Jean-Paul de de Lambert. I'm
Oh,
terrible.
God. No wonder he changed his name. Yeah, he was on WING, wasn't he?
She said, yep.
Here's a song that was written by Irvin Drake. I really like playing this because it's totally out of my wheelhouse. Frank Sinatra did this, recorded it in 1965. It's called It Was a Very Good Year. When I was 17, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for small town girls and soft summer nights. We'd hide from the lights on the village green when I was 17. Oh, 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 oh. When I was 21, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for city girls who lived up the stair with perfumed hair that came undone when I was 21. Oh, oh, oh. When I was 35, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for blue-blooded girls of independent means. We'd ride in limousines. The chauffeur would drive when I was 35. Oh, oh, oh. And now the days grow short. I'm in the autumn of the year, and I think of my life as vintage wine from fine old kegs, from the brim to the dregs. It poured sweet and clear. It was a very good year. Oh, oh, oh.
I love that song. Philippa said William Shatner did it too. And I remember, I'll have to play that for you. Of course, I don't think William Shatner doesn't sing, but what he puts into a song, I think that's the one that she's talking about. And Libby said Cats in the Cradle makes me cry too, which is of course another Harry Chapin.
Yeah, I've done that. I did that once.
Yeah. And
I'd do that again. Write that down. We get these
I did.
requests.
I did write that.
Really, if there's a song you like, let me know. And I'm going to put a post up. And I hope it'll make your news feeds. If you're following Auto Harp Down Home, it should. Check in over here. I'll put a post up here pretty soon. I do 22 songs. And I can get that done in 2 hours and still talk to y'all and visit and all. But I would love to do another whole request show with requests from all kinds of people. The first one we didn't get a lot of response, but the people who did respond requested a lot of songs. So we got a show out of it, but I'd like one that's more broad spectrum and a representative of more people.
I have a couple more here.
Okay, go ahead.
Philippa said that's the 31st anniversary for Rob and Margali.
Ah,
And she said 3 roommates, Rob and Margali and Gina Lee. And Libby said wonderfully sung on that last one you did with.
thank you, Libby.
And Philippa said, yeah, he talked it, meaning Shatner.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
At least, unlike some other people I can think of, he knows he can't sing.
No, but boy,
he
can he
makes
play.
up for it in other ways, you know.
He did another song called It Hasn't Happened Yet. And oh my goodness, to listen to that one.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet.
And then he did
It's
one
so
about all
good.
these people that are. He said, "I'd rather be a has-been than a never was."
Yeah.
Sitting there in his gaming chair and all that. Yeah, that was a good one.
I love his stuff.
Becky sent us an album
Yes,
that he did.
She
and
did.
It was on
I
that.
remember. I remember that one. Yeah. Hard not to be a fan.
Seemed like Bill was a little ticked off at somebody when he did that one, huh? I don't know. Okay, let us see. Pardon me. It's cold. This thing's still lingering.
I know it is for me too. I've yawned 3 times and it's just stamina issue. And it's not because I'm sleepy. It just happens to me. The body's tired. It's just the body is tired.
Oh, it was a mean disease. We didn't
I
go
tell
get
you.
tested, but I'm not convinced we didn't have.
I'm convinced
the
we had the
Omicron variant.
Omicron. Yeah, it just was too
It was
similar.
just, and it kept throwing symptoms at us. Like you'd get over one set and you'd get another set.
Yeah, because you start out with sneezing.
You start out with
and
sneezing
the sore throat thing.
yeah, and then it would go to a terrible head cold, just
And a
absolutely
bad,
can't
bad,
breathe.
awful cough. All
And then after you get over
bronchitis-like.
that, it would go to a bronchitis kind of like symptoms.
And then it would hit you in the gut.
It would hit you in the gut, and it just every time I'm getting over it. I'm getting over it. No,
No,
you're
here you
just
go.
next phase. So
Right, but then
it was
the
a mean
symptoms
disease,
are-
and we assumed.
Well, one of the things they said was a symptom is night sweats, and you just don't
Yeah,
get
we both
that.
had
And we
those.
had that. And it's
So
just-
we assumed
Yeah.
that we had it, and we sort of pretty much self-quarantined.
Well, that Philippa said was why I was so worried about you.
Yeah, I know. I understand that.
Oh, absolutely. Because we were very,
And
Greg was
I guess
too.
we just missed your calls because we'd have called you back.
I
you
just
know,
was not.
But we weren't at all
Not at all
ourselves,
hitting on all eight.
we might have been outside with the dogs or something and just never checked the
I
missed
didn't do-
calls.
I just didn't do
We just kind of got through and did what we had to do, and
Well-
and that was it. Hi, you want to play the auto harp? Nope, you don't have it.
I was sick. We were
I'm
sick on
sorry.
our birthdays. We were sick
Oh,
on
yeah.
New Year's, and
Yeah,
I
it
think
was-
we were sick on Christmas Eve.
No, I wasn't
Were you
sick
not?
then. no.
I think I was coming down with.
You
the-
were coming down with it. You thought you were going to fight it off.
I
Tough
did.
guy.
I thought I fought it off for almost a week, and then wham.
Anyway, enough of that.
Yeah, sorry about that. When you go through that, it's hard not to talk.
This is another song that I don't know the artist on. I'm going to have to try to find out. I'd like to get artists for everything. It was recorded by Tennessee Ernie Ford, and it's called Tell Me You Remember Betty Jean. Betty Jean, do you remember 1982? Before we had the babies, and it was only me and you. You know I can still hear you saying, I do. Do you remember Betty Jean? Betty Jean, do you remember when the times got so rough and it was all that we could handle just to keep from giving up? But somehow we held things together with love. Do you remember Betty Jean? Then tell me you haven't forgotten. Tell me you still feel the same. Tell me the years haven't faded your love. Tell me you remember Betty Jean. Betty Jean, do you remember when the kids finally moved and we were back where we started and it was only me and you? It was just like September 1982. Do you remember Betty Jean? Then tell me you haven't forgotten. Tell me you still feel the same. Tell me the years haven't faded your love. Tell me you remember Betty Jean. Tell me the years haven't faded your love. Tell me you remember Betty Jean.
That was pretty.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it.
We have 3:30.
Yeah, we're getting there. I guess this one would have run over anyway. I shouldn't have waxed so eloquent about the Tahoma. I start talking about that and then, you know, what can I say? Here's a song that was written and recorded by Alan Jackson. It's called Remember When. Remember when I was young and so were you. Time stood still and love was all we knew. You were the first, so was I. We made love and then you cried. Remember when? Remember when we vowed the vows and walked the walk, gave our hearts, made the start. It was hard. We lived and learned life through curves. There was joy, there was hurt. Remember when? Remember when old ones died, new were born, and life was changed, disassembled, rearranged. We came together, fell apart, and broke each other's hearts. Remember when? Remember when the sound of little feet was the music that we danced to week, brought back the love, we found trust, vowed we'd never give it up. Remember when? Remember when? 30 seems so old, now looking back, it was just a stepping stone to where we are, where we've been, said we'd do it all again. Remember when? Remember when we said when we turned gray, when the children grow up and move away, we won't be sad, we'll be glad for all the life we've had, and we'll remember when, remember when. Remember when?
Beautiful. Did I read where Philippa said good version of the song?
No, thank you.
And also Debbie Lane, an amazing song. Thank you. Very nicely done.
I'm glad you liked it. I'm really glad you liked it. I love that song because it's so different from most everything I play. You know, I'm a folksy, bluegrassy, country rock kind of guy, and that's just the furthest thing away from that that you can probably get. All right, I'm suffering from comedic withdrawal here, so you'll have to excuse me. This again. Linda Paul sang this song in a song circle I was in, and she gave me the words and the chords and everything. I don't know where she got it from. I don't know who did it. I don't know if it's ever been recorded. It's a parody of a TV theme song. Back in the 60s, there was a show that was really popular for like 3 seasons or so. It's called The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And there were all kinds of other imitators. And one of them was a British series called Secret Agent. And Johnny Rivers, a kind of rockabilly guy, did the theme to it. And this is a parody of that theme. Let's see if I can actually play the riff here. I mean, I'm not succeeding. Let me see here. What's going on? There's a man who leads a life of anger. Every year he lives, he gets much stranger. To deal with all his aches, another pill he takes. Odds are he will use Depends tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man, they're giving you an aspirin to take away the pain. Beware of health insurance plans that you find. Insurance agents have an evil mind. Be careful what you say. Don't give yourself away, or odds are they won't pay your bills tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man, you're taking a Viagra to make you stiff again. Swinging on the Riviera one day. Be careful or you'll get a sunburn that way. A second disc just slipped, you'll need another hip. Odds are you won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret aging man, you're picking out a tombstone on which to put your name. Secret aging man.
Oh my. Philippa said, loved Secret Agent and Man from Uncle. And also she said, still follow David McCollum on NCIS. I do too. Ilya Kuryakin.
Yeah, some people are ageless, that's all.
Yeah. Well, he's so good, an actor anyway.
The last thing I saw him in was he was in the third season of the A-Team. Who was the other guy? Robert Vaughn.
Yes, that's right. That's the last I saw of him too. Well, we were at 3:39.
Thank you. We're just about done here. Here's a song by that was written and recorded by Bob Dylan, and he had two versions of this. He called them the fast and the slow version. I'm going to do the fast version for you. It's called Forever Young. May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. And may you stay forever young. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong. And may you stay forever young. May you stay forever young. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of changes shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. And may you stay forever young. May you stay forever young. At heart, anyway.
Yeah, beautiful. Ziggy said, although your songs today were mostly rather serious, I enjoyed your concert very much. Thanks for, again, such beautiful singing and playing, and for the stories.
Thank you, Ziggy. We'll see you later on.
Well, he's a smile face and a heart. And now I'm looking forward to watching and listening to what I missed from the show's first part, smile face.
Yeah, we were a little late. We had some problems.
And I hope to see you again in about 3 hours from now.
Yes, indeed.
You will. We will.
Well, folks, it started out a little rough, but this has been a ball.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for coming and sticking with us and looking for us even after we didn't show up right on time. We really value everybody. You've all become good friends of ours, and we really look forward to seeing you every other Saturday. If you've got a little something you could put in our tip jar, we'd appreciate it. And if you can't, that's fine too. We really could use the help, but at the same time, we want to thank everybody who's given us stuff before and contributed to our
it means
our
so
tip
much.
jar. You sent me to MLAG, guys.
Yes.
And I'll never forget it.
Right.
Because I just don't think I'd have got there without your help. Anyway, join us in 2 weeks when we will celebrate Valentine's Day in our own inimitable way.
I have, Debbie, one more. Love This Song is one I have on my page too. Great version. And she also said, get some rest. Thanks for the music and friendship. And thank you, Debbie.
Thanks, Debbie. Thanks so much.
Thank you, all of you.
Thanks to everybody for coming today. And I will say goodbye, good luck, and may the good Lord take a liking to you.
Yeah.
Well, now it's time to say goodbye to George and all his kin. We'd sure like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back real soon to this locality to have a heaping helping of our hospitality. Down home style, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now here.